Good evening, everybody. Can everyone hear me? Okay, we're good. I'd like to call to order the meeting for regular town board meeting, July 17th, 2023, 6 p.m. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Does anybody have any conflicts with tonight's resolutions?
No.
No? We're good. All right. Can I have a motion to accept the meetings of June 12th, 2019?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Do we have any public comments on resolutions for business only, for town business only? Oh,
I do. Should I sit?
I had a first.
Yeah, here and
Oh, all in favor accepting the minutes for June 12th?
Aye.
Okay.
Well, for the 19th, I don't, because it
And the
wasn't there.
19th,
June
I wasn't
12th.
here
I
either.
was,
Oh, the 19th you weren't?
I was recused. I have to recuse because it wasn't there.
Oh,
I wasn't
okay.
present at June 19th either.
Okay. Lynn and Nicole were not present for June 19th. Okay, again, public comments on resolutions in town business only. Time limit, 3 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, John, how are you?
Fine, very
It's
good.
like I should know you're there.
Yeah, sorry about that.
What do you got?
Okay, thank you.
Don't give me an update on the sewer.
That's what I'm looking for. But anyway,
Because I've been looking at all the town board meetings for the last couple of years. You've never asked that, except me.
oh, that's interesting.
I'm
I did.
curious.
No, that's not, I did it actually the day before pandemic. I was up here talking about it. But at any rate, that's not, it was what I was looking forward to. But my concern instead today is comments concerning Resolution 5, discussing accepting the findings of the Ethics Board regarding Neil Krupnik.
Okay.
I find it divisive in the community to pursue this resolution, and I urge tabling it or voting it down. Neil served in this position during the pandemic when expertise was needed to host many remote Zoom meetings and to keep the community informed during COVID. Neil performed these tasks admirably. The violation was a technical error by the prior town administration, true, but no unfavorable effects on the residents of Hyde Park were had. Prosecuting this case will be far more costly to the taxpayers and to the morale and peacefulness of the community. Errors like this occur regularly and are typically forgiven. For example, the current town board approved a new full-time position, that of legislative assistant. I actually like the town to have this position. I even publicly recommended it when the board was considering hiring a grant writing consultant last year. I recall, however, when serving on the zoning board, I received training in various aspects of town law. I remember one of these pertained to the need to obtain county approval to initiate a full-time town position. I don't know if the town obtained permission to do this. If it did not, would you like a future board to threaten prosecution on that basis? It was an error, yes, if that was the case. Similarly, the current town supervisor sits on the county IDA as well as on this board. An issue came up in which the county IDA recommended a 20-year pilot for one stage of the Belfield project. This ethics board judged that there was no conflict of interest. Perhaps an ethics board appointed by a future administration might not judge this case, or might judge this case differently.
Go ahead, finish up.
Thank you very much, okay.
We'll let you go.
I appreciate it. I'm almost finished. Do you want to begin such a divisive process that will have deleterious consequences for the town? Neil served in the position of webmaster well, and the town benefited greatly. The current webmaster is not quite as good, in my opinion. For example, you may recall that on the 4th of July, in the morning at 7 a.m., it was raining in Hyde Park. I was interested in knowing whether or not the parade was going to be canceled. So I looked on the webpage, the town webpage, and what I found was an announcement that registration forms for the Memorial Day parade were due. That indicated to me, obviously, that the town webpage had not been updated for 6 weeks, and certainly had no information about whether or not it was whether the July 4th parade was going to go on. Parenthetically, as we were talking about a little bit before, I came this evening to learn about the progress in developing a cost-effective sewer system for the town center, a project with bipartisan support. Considering this ethics resolution has sidetracked the progress report. This could be the first of the adverse effects on the town. Thank you, and thanks for the
John.
extra time.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That'll be a lot quicker. I'm Howard Fisher. I'm a highway superintendent. I did send an email to everybody about Resolution 14. I just want to say before I do this real quick, I'm not against anybody getting a raise. I don't have any problems with Don Westermeyer or Caroline. I try to get along with all of you. I do have a problem with a mid-year raise and people getting 2 raises when my guys who work 24 hours a day, or on call 24 hours a day, they just spent the weekend working for the flooding, then, you know, not only Sunday morning for flooding, then Sunday night for tree work. They've been paving for the last few weeks, standing out there in the heat, doing all that. If anybody deserves a raise, it's my guys, who, like I said, are not home on a weekend or holidays sometimes. They're out working all the time. I mean, Nicole, you know, you've been in the truck with the guys. You know their long hours and that. Most of my guys, half of my crew, don't make $24 an hour. And they sure could use 2 raises a year. I know they're union, but if you really want to give raises out, the union contract could be opened up and they could take raises too. So I got my raise this year. I want to thank you. I asked for 2%. Town said they were giving everybody a 3%. I thanked Alan, I thanked Jim, and I was happy with it. But if we're going to give out more, I'll take more. Thanks, guys.
Howie, I will answer you,
Okay.
okay?
We're taking your raise away, Howie, just to let you know.
That was John's recommendation, but we're not going to go with that. Howie, your contract's coming up, and we are working within the town to try to bring values up, exactly for the same reason you know you have, and the police department has the same thing. But we're working first, obviously, with the non-union people to try to raise them to where they could be, so we're not at a loss. We will go with CSEA, because they've already called us, and we'll start your negotiations soon, okay? It's not that we're not trying to, but we have to do it so that it balances out.
I want everybody to be aware of the time and the amount of time they put for this town.
We do not look at what the highway department does as a negative, 100%. Plus the police department, plus everybody that works in the town. We are low paid, we understand what's going on in other towns, but we're definitely looking at, but we have to start at some point, and that's what we're doing. We're trying to do it midstream to make it a negative increase. We've been playing with Jim and the budgets to try to make it, you know how we work,
Absolutely.
and we are looking at
I
you
just wanted to
too.
say how I felt about the I don't have a problem with them getting.
Well, then we can't give you a raise
January
midstream.
1st, You know, that's when we get our raise. Getting two during the year is,
Well, we have to start somewhere. It's easier to start with the non-union because you guys are under contract. That's the whole difference. So we get this out of the way, we're working with you, we're working with the police department coming next, you both are on the same time, and then the town union employees. That's what we're doing. We're working with the budget to make sure that we stay in our budget no matter what. Right now, all the raises you're seeing are zero impact to the budget. We work that out that way. We're going to try to do the same with you guys. Okay?
okay, thank you.
Anyone else? If not, then we'll move forward. Okay, we'll start with, we changed the resolutions, right?
Yes, number 9 first.
We're going to go with number 9 first. Nicole?
Resolution 717-9 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to create an additional full-time police officer position within the Town of Hyde Park Police Department and appoint Jordan Fine to said position.
Is Jordan here? There he is. Look at him. We stole you, didn't we?
Yes, you did.
All right, you guys swear me.
You need a second?
Oh, you got the motion, can I have a second?
Second.
All right, will the town clerk take a vote, or roll call vote?
Councilwoman Oaks,
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero,
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi,
Aye.
Councilman Kruzakowski,
Aye.
Supervisor Torgiani.
Aye, motion carried. Will the officer come forward to be sworn in? Right? Yes. Here you are, Lisa.
Okay, come on up here. Repeat after me. I, Jordan Fine, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York,
And the Constitution of the State of New York.
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
And I will faithfully discharge the duties
of full-time police officer
of full-time police officer
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
You are sworn. You decide. Here, please. Okay, thank you.
You got any family? Okay, bring them up. Now we got touch music. Come on, okay? Bring up your fellow officers to be. Oh, good. Right, down slowly, so I can stand like right here. Ready?
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
There's nothing more better than when we steal somebody from another police department. I love that. Okay, number 12. Where's 12? Oh, shit. Where's 12? You're killing me here. Okay, we're going to go to resolution number 12.
Resolution number what?
Hold on. Number 12. Okay, do that one.
Resolution 717-12 of 2023. Resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to acknowledge the retirement of the full-time Town of Hyde Park Police Sergeant Dean Robinson.
Dean Robinson, is the lieutenant here? Can you step forward, please?
Sarah.
You need a second?
Second.
Please take a roll call.
Councilwoman Nopes,
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero,
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi,
Aye.
Councilman Kruzakowski,
Aye.
Supervisor Tergiani,
Would like to take
You gotta vote.
Sergeant Dean.
You gotta vote, call, roll call, gotta vote.
Oh, I gotta vote, yeah, 8. Motion carried. We'd like to take 35, think about this, 35 years of service, okay?
Unfortunately, he's on vacation this week. It was scheduled.
We didn't want to know that.
I'm going to accept it for him, but I just want to say he did a very fruitful career here in Hyde Park. 35 years of service in the police department is a long time. He was an excellent employee, a great role model to myself and other officers, and we all wish him well in retirement. So,
Excellent.
thanks, guys.
Most marriages don't last that long. Years. Okay, resolution 12, motion carried.
Now we're going back to resolution.
No, I'm staying on.
Resolution 717-1 of 2023. Resolution authorizing entrance onto the properties located at 599 Violet Avenue, tax ID number 6163- I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead, no, go ahead.
02-558890, 563 North Quaker Lane, tax ID number 6266-19-654134, 4357, 4359 Albany Post Road, tax ID number 606520, 836205, and 839198, all within the town of Hyde Park, and 18 Long Meadow Drive, Statsburg, tax ID number 6166-02-841705, to bring these properties into compliance with the standards of Chapter 85-5B of the Town Code, and to assess the cost of such action against these properties as a lien and charge on the same.
Thank you, John. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Don. Okay, will the clerk take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Nopes,
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero,
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi,
Aye.
Councilman Kruzakowski,
Aye.
Supervisor Tergiani.
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 717-2 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to approve the release of road opening bond for DS Electric of Hudson Valley, road location 33 Brower Boulevard.
May I have a second?
Second.
Okay, will the clerk take the roll call vote, please?
Councilwoman Nopes,
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero,
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi,
Aye.
Councilman Kruzakowski,
Aye.
Supervisor Tergiani.
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 717-3 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to amend Resolution 410-4 of 2023, authorizing the town supervisor to submit to Central Hudson Gas and Electric Corporation their application to allow for decorative temporary attachments to the Central Hudson utility poles within the Town of Hyde Park for the purpose of displaying the town's hometown hero banners, to include the authorization for the town supervisor to execute Central Hudson's decorative temporary attachment license agreement and include any and all amended poll numbers with said agreement. I just want to point out it should be towns with an apostrophe S. The town's hometown hero, not plural, possessive.
All right, may I have a second, please?
Second.
All right, thank you, Lynn. LR. Will the clerk take the roll call vote, please?
Councilwoman Noakes,
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero,
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi,
Aye.
Councilman Guzekowski,
Aye.
Supervisor Trogiani.
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 717-4 of 2023. Resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to amend Resolution 629-1 of 2023, authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to award bids for the Town Hall addition to LBS 2020 for electrical work, Barone Construction Group for general trades, and plumbing and mechanical HVAC to S&O Construction Services to correct an error in the addresses listed for the businesses that were awarded said bids.
All right, may I have a second, please?
Second.
Will the clerk take the roll call vote, please?
Councilwoman Noakes,
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero,
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi,
Aye.
Councilman Guzekowski,
Aye.
Supervisor Trogiani.
Aye. Motion carried. Town Hall will start soon. It's on its way.
Did you want Nicole to go through the whole one? You want to do this whole?
Yeah, Nicole, can you read,
Yes. Resolution 717-5 of 2023. Resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to accept the findings of the Ethics Board that Neil Krupnick violated the Town of Hyde Park Code of Ethics and General Municipal Law, and to refer said findings to law enforcement, and to refer allegations of violations to former Town Board members to the Ethics Board for an advisory opinion. The whole thing?
yes.
Whereas the Town of Hyde Park Board of Ethics Board reviewed allegations against former Zoning Board of Appeals, ZBA, and former Town Board member Neil Krupnick. And whereas at all times mentioned in this resolution, Krupnick was a Town of Hyde Park officer or employee as defined in CEO subsection 11-2, and whereas in pertinent part, it was alleged that Krupnick violated the Town of Hyde Park Code of Ethics, COE, and provisions of Article 18 of the General Municipal Law, GML, and whereas on April 24th, 2023, the Ethics Board issued an opinion which stated that Krupnick violated the COE and the GML, resulting in official misconduct, a Class A misdemeanor, in violation of penal law subsection 195 by committing the following. 1. Krupnick failed to comply with COE subsection 11-7B while serving on the ZBA when the Town of Hyde Park Town entered a contract with Krupnick for webmaster services. Krupnick should have either resigned from the ZBA or not accepted employment with the town. 2. Krupnick's employment as the town's webmaster and remote meetings producer created a conflict of interest, as it may have impaired Krupnick's judgment and interfered with the discharge of his official duties in violation of COE subsection 11-3C. 3. Krupnick's employment as the town's webmaster and remote meetings producer violated GML subsection 805A-C, which provides that no municipal officer or employee shall receive or enter into any agreement, express or implied, for compensation for services to be rendered in relation to any matter before the municipal agency of which he is an officer, member, or employee. 4. Krupnick's renewal of contract of January 1, 2019 as the town's webmaster violated COE subsection 11-3A, subsection 11-3C, GML subsection 805AC, and subsection 803 as Krupnick, as a member of the ZBA prior to the renewal, was an officer or employee of the town. 5. Krupnick's renewal of contract of December 16, 2019 as town's webmaster while serving as a member of the town board violated COE subsection 11-3A, subsection 11-3C, GML subsection 805AC and subsection 803. 6. Krupnik's employment as the town's webmaster and remote meetings producer while serving as a member of the town board violated COE subsection 11-G, which prohibits an officer or employee from having a personal interest in any transaction with the town when that officer or employee has the authority to negotiate, prepare, authorize, approve, or audit such transactions or the vouchers or claims for its payment, or to appoint another official or employee with such authority. As a town board member, Krupnik had such authority. 7. Krupnik's employment as the town's webmaster and remote meetings producer while serving as a member of the town board violated GML subsection 801, which prohibits conflicts of interest. No municipal officer or employee shall have an interest in any contract with the municipality of which he is an officer or an employee when that officer or employee has the power or duty to negotiate, prepare, authorize, or approve the contract or authorize or approve payment thereunder. As a town board member, Krupnik had such authority, and his contract was private employment. 8. Krupnik's renewal of contract of December 7th, 2020 as the town webmaster violated COE subsection 11-3A, subsection 11-3C, subsection 11-G, GML subsection 805AC, subsection 803, and subsection 801. 9. Krupnik's renewal contract of January 4, 2021 as the town's remote meeting producer violated COE subsection 11-3A, subsection 11-3C, subsection 11-G, GML subsection 805AC, subsection 803, and subsection 801, and whereas the town board accepts the ethics board's findings, and whereas Krupnik's unethical and unlawful actions impacted the town board's ability to carry out public business, impaired the integrity of the town board, adversely impacts the public's perception of the town's government, and undermines the public's confidence in its elected and appointed officials. Whereas the town board is now acting to implement the ethics board findings and opinion on behalf of the town of Hyde Park and its residents. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board hereby finds both appropriate and vital to censure the unethical and unlawful conduct committed by Krupnik as referenced herein, and be it further resolved that Krupnik may have committed official misconduct, a Class A misdemeanor, in violation of penal law subsection 195.00, and the town board shall refer this matter to the appropriate law enforcement agency. And be it further resolved that the town board makes a further referral to the ethics board for an advisory opinion on whether the other town board members violated the COE and GML when voting to approve the contracts between Krupnik and the town.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the
Discussion?
discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
Many questions need to be considered before voting on this resolution. The whole issue should be understood. 1, why was this complaint brought and who is involved? 2, what are the major issues being investigated? 3, what intent was involved? 4, is this a reasonable investigation and use of taxpayer money? Now for what I have found. 1, for what I have learned and read from various input, the conclusions I must draw, based on what is available, is that the complaint was brought for political reasons. I have not heard substantial reasons for such an investigation, which means extensive impact on time, town money, and the character of the person being investigated. Mr. Krupnik was dedicated to working for the people of this town. Everything I have uncovered points to a person who wanted to help improve the town and who was willing to personally work hard to accomplish that. Then, who is investigating? The Town Ethics Committee. I have not seen the deliberations nor the vote of the committee. They act in an advisory capacity. What legal firm was hired for $5,000 and more if this continues? The law firm that had worked with the administration previous to the past, that is the Martino administration, who had been replaced by the immediate past administration. If you recall, the Martino administration was full of questionable actions. Newspaper articles and hopefully written accounts of what went on should shed light on that. That is important to know the context, being that the second previous administration did not keep the public informed about what was going on. The Rohr administration worked hard to secure transparency. Mr. Krupnick's work in developing a website for the town was so that the public could know what their representatives were doing and could communicate with them. This was particularly important during the state of emergency with a worldwide pandemic. Due to the technology that Mr. Krupnick was knowledgeable about and experienced with, he was able to produce for the town a website that was kept up to date. We don't even have that now, and that our current website is not up to date. Check it out for yourself. And we are paying a second webmaster in the past 1.5 years. 2, the major issues being investigated are the contracts, legally drawn and publicly presented and voted on, which Mr. Krupnick had with the town to develop and maintain the website and to produce remote access so that the town business and public transparency could be maintained. Should Mr. Krupnick have known that having a public position in town hall and a contract could be an ethical violation? Yes. However, do I know that the training available now on the Code of Ethics was available and mandated then? No, I don't know. I was aware of that because of the various positions I have held, but I don't know that everyone was trained then, and even if they should have been. According to Mr. Krupnick's input, he did not know that the contracts could be an ethical violation and expected that he would have been counseled on that if they had been an issue. This seems feasible to me, even if it was not the way the government should have been operating. The contracts were legally drawn and presented at town board meetings for discussion and vote. There was nothing secretive about them. So the claim of intent to deceive was not evident. Was there a lack of understanding about the process of recusing himself from a vote? Probably, but that should not be a criminal offense. Recording suggested that he did not vote, even though he also did not recuse himself. There is no evidence that there was intent to deceive. 3, no evidence was presented to show that Mr. Krupnick had deceived or intended to deceive the town, nor is there evidence that Mr. Krupnick acted in order to benefit himself financially. Was he paid? Yes. He should have been, because he was uniquely qualified to produce and manage the website and to be the remote meeting producer, and therefore should have been compensated. The code stated that, quote, it does not preclude lawful compensation in more than one position. There was no proof that his position as webmaster would, quote, impair or, quote, interfere with his judgment in carrying out town board duties. 4, is this a reasonable investigation and use of taxpayer money? There might have been some benefit to review by the Ethics Committee to determine the most effective training for town officials in regards to ethical issues. As a matter of fact, there is a result implemented now at the beginning of the meetings in which everyone is asked if there is a conflict with any items, and each vote is called and recorded separately. But to investigate for a criminal offense and spend at least $5,000 on another lawyer for the Ethics Committee, I would suggest that is not reasonable. And the effect on the town due to the divisiveness of this hearing and conclusion definitely does not benefit the town. Mr. Krupnick and the Rohr administration were working very hard to correct the various problems from the administration previous to them, and one such correction was a vast increase in transparency. Communicating with the public was essential, and the new website and remote accessing were key. There were skills that Mr. Krupnick had and was willing to utilize for the town. Section 805 of the municipal law states that someone who, quote, willfully and knowingly violates the law shall be guilty of misdemeanor. This ethic committee and the lawyer they hired found Mr. Krupnick guilty of a misdemeanor, but I see no proof or evidence that there was willful and knowing violation, and there is no intent to deceive that I could find. For this resolution on the 5th whereas, it states that the town was impacted or harmed by Mr. Krupnick. I see no harm but benefit to the town for the work Mr. Krupnick performed. I see harm in this resolution. I see it as very divisive for the town. It appears to me to be frivolous and defamatory and divisive, and I cannot vote to accept this resolution. But let's be clear, I think that ethical behavior is imperative, training and vigilance are essential, but I don't see proof of intentional violation by Mr. Krupke. It seems that those who should have been supporting and counseling him missed their moments.
Well, while we're on that discussion point, because it came up when I tried to do some volunteer work and some additional work for funds. I asked all the board members, and I told them what I was going to do, and at that time, I didn't know of the fact. But when I asked the town attorney, and he's standing right here, and I says, well, why, if this came in front of all the board members and the town attorney was there, why didn't the town attorney stop it or say anything? The town attorney basically gave me an answer. Listen, it might have been overlooked, or whatever the case may be, but you guys are still responsible for your own actions, even with the town attorney there. So I found out now about all this, but as far as you think, or as you know, well, I know that when we came into this administration, a lot of the Facebook pages, a lot of the data that he controlled, we were locked out of, didn't have any way to get into it. And that was very vindictive, and the ethics board went through this whole process and found these violations that there is a basis. I'm not saying, and I would not do it to anybody, that we're going to pursue spending thousands of dollars to try to convict this gentleman and put him in jail. But what he did is a lesson for all us to know that very simply this can happen, but at the same time, he did wrong. That's my opinion.
Just one correction, he did nothing with the Facebook page. Facebook wasn't an account.
No, we had a webpage and stuff that we were locked out of.
Webpage, and I don't know about.
Yeah, we were locked out of, he had the password, we had to go and get everybody to come and figure out what to do, research everything. It was not good. And if he had all good intentions, he would have turned that information over to the new board so we could have took over from that. That was problematic.
I just want to,
why?
I just want to comment. I find it very hard to believe that Mr. Krupnick or any of the other members of the former town board did not know. I was a part-time seasonal employee at Highway, and I was told I would not be able to continue in that role if I was sitting in this seat. And how you can think that you can vote and write your own contracts for your own position is kind of difficult for me to believe, that somebody with his knowledge base in business couldn't at least go to his attorney and ask about that. And if the attorney did it wrong, that's on him.
Well, there was, just to be clear, and first of all, I mean, my understanding is, and I'm not directly involved, that the Ethics Committee did a very thorough job in reviewing this. I believe they met actually several times. They did have the benefit of counsel, counsel that was completely unaffiliated with my office or anything to do with me, who came recommended, as I understand it. And I think one of the issues that was really disconcerting was the repetitiveness of it. In other words, it just wasn't one action. It was a series of actions. And in one situation, I believe there was even evidence where there was an abstention or refrained from voting because of the concern, but then he voted subsequent to that, which, as I understand it, the ethics board had a real problem getting around how he could claim he didn't know any better after the fact. The only thing I'll mention, because I don't have a bone in this fight, I'm just here as legal counsel, is that intended, for what it's worth to the board members, intent to deceive is not an element of any of this. It doesn't matter whether someone's intentionally trying to deceive or not. The question is whether or not he engaged in the conduct and which was prohibited. He was prohibited from doing, and that's where the ethics board went. So that's what the ethics board based its opinion on. They took a look at the statute. I did go through the opinion that the ethics board provided. I found it to be thorough, comprehensive, and from all indications, it seems to me that the ethics board did a superior job.
I'd like to weigh in also. I'm not an attorney, but I think that once this was brought to light and it was sent down to the Ethics Board. That's what we're supposed to do. It's nonpartisan. The Ethics Board keeps everybody in check, and I welcome people to keep an eye on me and the decisions that I make, and let me know if you feel I've done anything wrong, or if I missed something, a decision I made. And I'm going to go by the investigation of the Ethics Board. I didn't dig into this as deep as they did, but I'm glad that they're here, and I'm glad that they did such a thorough job. That's all I have.
And just one final comment, if I may. So just to be clear about what the resolution is, it's not, it's going to be up to law enforcement whether they decide to investigate this or pursue it or not. This is just being referred, the resolution is simply referring it to law enforcement for their review. They might look at this and agree and say, okay, well, we don't think there was anything criminal here, and that's their prerogative. But that all the resolution does is just to refer it to them, and then they make that determination.
All right. I have a motion, I have a second.
I made the motion.
All right, John made the second. Will the clerk make the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero?
No.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilman Kuzikowski?
Aye.
Supervisor Trogiani?
Aye. Motion carried. Thank you. Who's next?
Go back to them.
Want to go, John?
Comes to me. Resolution 717-6 of 2023. Resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Supervisor to execute the bill of sale conveying the Town of Hyde Park's interest in the Vanderburg Cove sewer system to the Dutchess County Wastewater Authority.
It just should be water and wastewater, it's WW.
Say that again? I'm sorry.
Should
Should
be
be
water
the word
and
water is
Dutchess County Water and Wastewater is the
It's
actual
just
name of the.
typo.
Duly noted. May I have a second?
Second.
I'd like to just say something on this. This conveyance, this is a septic system that's up on High Park and the boundary of Rhinebeck, and it's been problematic for years. And we've been trying to pass this along because this has been a thorn in our side to maintain, and a lot of illegal issues with the wastewater coming in, the Water and Wastewater Authority coming in and taking this over. It's going to help the taxpayers up in that area considerably, and it's going to be a good move.
Okay. Will the clerk take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero?
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilman Kuzikowski?
Aye.
Supervisor Trogiani?
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 717-7 of 2023. Resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to appoint Chris Barisha as full-time motor equipment operator for the Town of Hyde Park Highway Department.
May I have a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero?
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilman Kuzikowski?
Aye.
Supervisor Trogiani?
Aye. Is the gentleman here? Howie? No?
Who's here? No?
Okay. Thank you. It's on vacation. Next.
It's my turn.
Don.
Resolution 717-8 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to approve a stipulation of agreement settlement with the Town of Hyde Park CSEA Highway Unit.
May I have a second?
Second.
No? Second?
Second?
Oh, Lynn, thank you. All right, will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero?
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Kuzakowski.
Aye.
Supervisor Trogiani.
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 717-10 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to acknowledge the resignation of part-time Town of Hyde Park Police Officer John Rispoli.
May I have a second, please?
Second?
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Oaks.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Kuzakowski.
Aye.
Supervisor Trogiani.
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 717-11 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to acknowledge the resignation of part-time Town of Hyde Park Police Officer Michael Sargianis.
Second?
Okay, Don, thanks. Will the clerk take the roll call vote, please?
Councilwoman Oaks.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Kuzakowski.
Aye.
Supervisor Trogiani.
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 717-13 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to appoint Tina Zabradit, is that correct? As hourly secretary for the Town of Hyde Park Town Supervisor.
May I have a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the vote?
Councilwoman Oaks.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Kuzakowski.
Aye.
Supervisor Trogiani.
Aye, motion carried. I'd like to make a motion to enter into executive session for this one. May I have a motion?
I'll motion. You want a motion for it?
Yes.
I make a motion to enter an executive session to discuss the personnel issues
Yeah.
surrounding a particular employee.
All right. Okay, we need a second?
Second.
Okay, John, you don't need one. Okay, thank you. I'd like to make a motion to come out of executive session.
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Nicole?
As for Resolution 14, the board has decided that we will be tabling the resolution to revise some of the wording to be clearer about the process of compensation.
May I have a second?
Second.
Okay, will the clerk please take the,
Councilwoman Oaks.
On tabling it, aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
On tabling it, aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Kuzakowski.
Aye.
Supervisor Trogiani.
on tabling? Yes, aye. Motion tabled.
I'll just go. Resolution 717-15 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to approve vacation carryover for personnel account clerk Megan Cardinal.
Second.
May I have a second?
Second.
Win 0. Okay, will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Oaks.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Kuzakowski.
Aye.
Supervisor Trogiani.
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 717-16 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to approve vacation carryover for Police Assistant Jennifer Lefevre.
Lefevre. Okay, may I have a second?
Second.
Okay, will the town clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Oaks.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero.
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Councilman Kuzakowski.
Aye.
Supervisor Trogiani.
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 717-17 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to approve Police Lieutenant Jason Rosillo's attendance at the Town of Fishkill Police Department's Internal Affairs Investigation Complaint Processing and Procedural Responsibilities course, September 11th and 12th, 2023, in Fishkill, New York.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Well, Don, I'll give it to you. Okay, will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero?
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilman Kruzakowski?
Aye.
Supervisor Torgiani?
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 717-18 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to approve police officer Jonah Town's attendance at the Basic School Resource Officer course, July 31st through August 4th, 2023, at the Dutchess County Law Enforcement Academy in Poughkeepsie, New York.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Okay, will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero?
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilman Kruzakowski?
Aye.
Supervisor Torgiani?
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 717-19 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to approve and authorize the transfer of funds from the Recreation Trust Fund to the General Fund to help offset the course for the ADA required parking at the Hyde Park Recreation's Hackett Hill Park ADA Accessible and Inclusive Design Playground Project.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Okay, will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero?
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilman Kruzakowski?
Aye.
Supervisor Torgiani?
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 717-20 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to accept donation from Roundout Savings Bank to be utilized for the Town of Hyde Park 2023 4th of July Parade.
Oh, may I have a second?
Second.
All right, will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero?
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilman Kruzakowski?
Aye.
Supervisor Torgiani?
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 717-21 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Clerk to issue hawking and peddling license to members of Power Home Remodeling Group LLC.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
All right, will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero?
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilman Kruzakowski?
Aye.
Supervisor Torgiani?
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 717-22 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to approve the request from the Culinary Institute of America to conduct a fireworks display on Monday, September 4th, 2023, in the Town of Hyde Park.
Ooh, may I have a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero?
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilman Kruzakowski?
Aye.
Supervisor Torgiani?
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 717-23 of 2023, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to approve zoning administrator Kathleen Moss and deputy zoning administrator David Morkey's attendance at the New York State Floodplain and Stormwater Managers Association Floodplain Training Webinar Series, August 10th, October 19th, and December 7th, 2023.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Lynn. All right, will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero?
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilman Kruzakowski?
Aye.
Supervisor Torgiani?
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 717-24 of 2023, resolution authorizing Town of Hyde Park Town Board to approve the Town of Hyde Park participation in the NYSDEC Non-Agricultural Non-Point Source Planning and MS4 Mapping Grant.
Yes. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilwoman Noakes?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ruggiero?
Aye.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilman Kruzakowski?
Aye.
Supervisor Torgiani?
Aye, motion carried.
John?
Okay,
On resolution 19,
19.
This is to move funds for the
Yeah.
ADA parking, or was this for the millings?
It was for the millings, but it was
I think
worded,
that this is incorrect.
it was for the additional parking, but
Right.
it said for the ADA parking,
It said
but
for the ADA parking, but it's not.
Isn't that part of the ADA?
not really, but we'll have to let Caroline take a look at that.
Are we doing a day's correction on that, or no?
No, it's
Okay, all right.
too much,
I didn't realize that when I read it.
Yeah.
'Cause
it's too confusing.
Okay, is there
But did
any?
we pay separately for those other spaces that were actual paving?
That was, the ADA parking lot was paid from, the town paid that. You guys paid the $49.50 for the millings out of the rec department.
4,900.
Right.
$49.50, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Which John Lombardi spent a lot of his own personal time and equipment to make that look
Oh, yeah, I
somewhat
know.
presentable.
I know.
Without
I
doubt.
just, I want to make sure that it's clear that this funding didn't go towards those parking spaces that are
No.
ADA compliant.
That was a
This-
separate bid.
This is for the millings.
Yes,
Okay.
this was gratis, in my mind.
That was a good deal.
Yep. Anybody else have any new or old business? Any
Just
mention?
briefly, I'd like to thank all the Town of Hyde Park residents who made it out and took time away from their busy schedules for input into the town board. We appreciate that. Thank you very much. That's all I have to add.
Anyone else?
Anything on the other end?
You guys?
I just want to thank everybody who came out for the 4th of July parade. It was really well attended. I know it was a little sketchy with the weather. We can never predict the weather, but the reason why that wasn't up quickly is because they were monitoring the weather. They didn't want to cancel something and have it be like we can still have the parade, which has happened in the past. So they eventually made the right call, but everybody had a great time and it went off.
Yep.
I don't think any ambulances were used this year, which is
And
nice.
Congressman Pat Ryan told me that between us and Goshen, we were number one that he's seen so far.
Definitely.
And
We
he's
put on a good
definitely
parade.
going to meet with us for discussion for what Hyde Park needs from Congress.
Cool.
And we thank Pat Ryan for that,
Awesome.
even though we made him work real hard throwing candy.
And picking it up.
All right, I'm going to go down through my checklist real quick, just so that everybody's familiar with what's going on. As far as the Hackett Hill Playground, Peckham Industries agreed to donate 4 or 5 large landscape boulders so that we can put out at the edge of the parking lot to kind of give us a little barrier so that we don't have to worry about cars going through from the parking lot into the playground, which that's a donation from Peckham Industries. We buy all our blacktop, and Howie does a lot of business with them, so that was nice of them. As far as the Hyde Park Assisted Living Facility, we did receive a letter from the Department of Transportation through Lance McMillan, and the supervisor, Michael Dupree, and myself with Pete Sotero are going to go out. They gave us some options about putting a pedestrian crosswalk there. We're trying to figure out the logistics of the existing sidewalks that are on the assisted living east side, since they're on private property, how we could do some type of conveyance to make the DOT happy, and how we can put a sidewalk on the opposite side where Sunoco is as an ADA ramp, so that that pedestrian walkway can be used. And the DOT said if we could get all this in the works, that they would be happy to stripe it, put the signage there with a push button. So they're really working with us, so we're going to try to hammer out them details within the next week or so. In regards to the Falk Hill Dam, the county mobilized the contractor. The contractor has started working on the dam project on Creek Road. So over the next few weeks, you're going to see the water elevation at the Falk Hill Dam be lowered, so that they could start working on the bridge, the dam that's compromised. And while they're doing that, the county supplied us with a construction schedule. So the town engineer, through myself and with Howie, we are looking at the time frame of lowering the water level at the dam so that we can get back into Roosevelt Road area and Road Drive and try to redefine some of them swales to increase our drainage situation and the problems that we have over there. So we're going to get that in the works very shortly. As far as the Town Highway Department, they completed the paving over on Judy Terrace, which came out phenomenal, and they did a lot of the streets over there in Green Tree Drive. So I'd like to thank Howie and the whole Highway Department crew that worked with Peckham. Of course, they have to go and back up the shoulders and put some item 4 and some topsoil in numerous spots, but the majority of the paving is completed. So the guys did a good job, and hats off to them. The town of Hyde Park, in regards to the MS4 and the stormwater management through Tad's department, the town of Hyde Park is doing a joint grant with Pleasant Valley and LaGrange. And we're applying for this grant to help us with some mapping, some assistance for some dollar amounts to help us with all these requirements that they're asking for. So each municipality has the possibility of obtaining up to $60,000 per municipality through that grant, which that would be a big help and give some more funds to TAD so that we can kick that MS4 regulations and get ahead of it a little bit. On East Dorsey Lane, we had some conversations, and we've been working with the county about the speed limit. I know it's been problematic. We've visited it a couple times, and the DOT does the final ruling on that, and the New York State Department of Transportation basically says we have to wait another 3 or 4 years before we can revisit that again, which the town thought was kind of unacceptable. So between myself and the supervisor, we put a little pressure on the county to go out there and reevaluate the road and take a look at it, because we had numerous accidents, people speeding around the curves, landing in people's yards, and it's going to be a problem. So the county did go out there, and they reevaluated the entire road from Creek Road all the way up to Dollar General. And what they're going to do now is they're going to be changing approximately 13 signs and creating new signage with what they call a chevron. It's a sharp curve, and on the top of it has an arrow, and that tells you that a severe bend in the road or a hazard's ahead of you, and then there's going to be a suggested speed underneath it. And we talked to the county in detail, and most of them suggested speeds are going to be 25 to 30 miles per hour. So hopefully we can slow the traffic down while we get a little pressure on the DOT to see if we can drop the speed limit down on East Dorsey, because we know it's problematic. But hopefully all this signage, as far as the county's talking about, it's a 4 to 6 week time frame, and you're going to see them out there taking all the old signs down, putting the new signage up, so hopefully that will help us. The supervisor also directed the Hyde Park Police Department to put the radar enforcement back out when Dollar General opens up, because we know that we're going to get a increase in traffic, because if you look at the new Dollar General on the corner of Dorsey Lane and Route 9G, there's only an in-turning lane from the state road. Everybody else has to exit out onto East Dorsey Lane and go up to the traffic light to get back onto Route 9G, or head east down to the Four Corners towards Creek Road. So there is going to be more, we're anticipating more traffic flow when Dollar General opens up. That's why the supervisor recommended to the chief that we put that radar enforcement out there, because we already did it a year ago. We can track the number of cars that are on that road, what the speed limit is, so that when we go back in front of the county and the DOT, hopefully that information that we provide them will help them to reduce the speed limit on that road. This coming weekend, the Chamber of Commerce has the car show on Sunday the 23rd. There's, of course, as you can see, they've been cleaning up the property next door, mowing and grading and filling in some of the potholes. If you want to guys come out and support the car show, that's a chamber event that they could really use all the support that they come up with on that. The July 4th parade was a big success. I'd like to thank the rec department. The town board was very happy with how it finally turned out with the not raining, and we thank all the people for coming out. It was a great turnout and a total success. The visual environment, as you know, that on our Route 9 corridor where all the new sidewalks and curbs are, that the contractor is in the process of finishing up, in that project, there is new planters that are out in the back or the rear of the small plaza where, was it Guacamole? Was it Guacamole, El Guacamole is? There's new planters that were put out there, part of this grant or revitalization of the sidewalks. The Visual Environmental Committee went out there, did a beautiful job. They put topsoil in there, they put plantings in there, and we give them a good round of applause because it looks good. And we're always looking for volunteers. I hate to say this out loud, but I'm going to say it anyway, and I'm going to get a little flack. I see a lot of people complaining on Hyde Park Neighbors. And if you want to read what's going on Hyde Park Neighbors, it seems like a lot of people like to make complaints. This town hall is open for volunteers, suggestions, anybody that's willing to help. Instead of going and complaining all the time, come on over there and volunteer your services to whatever department you wish, because we could use the help. We're trying to do the right thing and make things happen, and we could use manpower. We don't need people on social media that don't have nothing to do but plotting all bad things and saying bad things. We really need everybody to come together and work together. And that's it. Oh, one more thing. As you know, our good friend John Golden passed away, and we would have loved to seen him here for the groundbreaking ceremony at the town hall, which we're going to. When do you actually think that we're going to start out?
We have contracts right now, so once the contracts, letters of intent went out, once the contracts are executed, we'll get a logistic plan, and we should be starting. Where are we now? July? I'd say end of August.
End of August, we'll be starting the new addition for the town hall, so that's very exciting. And of course, we
And we will have something for John, in addition to just a groundbreaking.
Most
We're gonna put a
definitely.
monument out there for him.
Most definitely. So that's all I got.
And just so everybody knows, the day we signed the contracts and selected the contractors is the day John passed. And he was up to date up until that time. I had called him and spoke to him several times and told him we were awarding, and it was funny, the day we awarded is the day I got notice that he passed. So it was sad but happy because he wanted it to happen. He said, make it happen. So like Councilman Lombardi and myself, we told him, it's going to happen. We give you our word, and it's going to happen. And it's happening real soon. Sorry, Tad, it's going to upset you maybe a little, but not much. Okay, what do we need? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you for coming out. Everyone get home safe.